Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a quick little first impressions on the Burberry palette. I already used this, I already took it out of the box, but this is called the Essentials Glow Palette, and I got the darker of the two, which is 02 medium to dark. Now, before we get into all of that nitty gritty, if you guys are new to my channel, hello and welcome. I am Suzana and I love luxury makeup. That is where my heart is, and that is what I mostly focus on in my channel. So if you guys are into luxury, please make sure to subscribe and also follow me on Instagram. I love to communicate with you guys. If you guys have any questions on products that I show on my channel or new releases coming out, always feel free to reach out because I am just always excited and happy to meet new people and just talk about my passion, which is makeup. Alright, so this palette is gorgeous. First of all, the packaging I think is so beautiful, very fingerprinty, which I'm not sure if you guys can tell on camera because it is quite reflective, but you do see the fingerprints. However, I still like this packaging a lot. I just have to be careful and keep it clean. I just enjoy the simplicity of it. It's all gold, but it still has the Burberry logo there. Now this is quite reflective, so I need to be careful with how I'm holding it. And not only because of that. Now, this palette, okay, so let me just show you guys real quick. So it comes with 6 different products for your face. So this is a face palette. You get 2 bronzers. The top one is a cream bronzer. The bottom one is powder. Now I'm saying powder, but this is that baked gelée formula. So this isn't going to be powdery or anything like that. I feel like baked gelée formulas are also really good with, you know, allowing you to have more control with how much product you're applying at once. It all depends on the brushes that you use. So if you feel that you're not getting the results that you're looking for using a baked gelée formula, try using a different brush. A lot of times that helps. So moving on, you also get 2 blushes, one which is more of a corally blush, the one here on the bottom is more of a pink blush, and then you get 2 highlighters as well. Once I applied it on my skin, I feel like this top highlighter is more of a champagne shade, whereas this bottom one has a little bit more of a golden, almost rose gold color to it, just very light if we do say rose gold. But on my cheeks it did come out a little bit more just golden, but very light and very beautiful, you know, just to tell you guys already, because I am wearing this now on my face. Now, the reason why I was mentioning how I have to be careful with this palette is because I've already had issues with 3 of these shades. This bottom bronzer shade has arrived cracked, so some of the pigments actually got out of the packaging, so it was all over the box and the box that it came in. I was actually quite surprised at the mess that it actually made with how well it still actually looks on the pan. Luckily it didn't get, you know, actually shattered, so I was able to salvage that. But I have had issues also with these highlighters. Both of these at this point have popped out. Again, they're still in one piece, so still salvageable, but that's kind of concerning to me and I have to be very careful with how I'm holding it. So that for sure is a huge negative. However, I'm trying to just look past that and actually give you guys a review and share my thoughts. You know, it is a first impressions though, but still share my thoughts on these products as they are, you know, for like the actual quality of the formula and how they look on my skin tone. Before we move on to the demo, I wanted to show you all the swatches. The first shades are from the top row and then the second are from the bottom. Now, as you can see, as far as the blush and the highlights, there isn't much of a difference in shade. It's very subtle. However, on the blush, you do see that the top one has a little bit more of a coral shade. And as far as the highlighters, the first one, which is on the top portion of the palette, has more of that champagne gold. Alright, so since I've already had a few incidents with this palette, I have to be very careful with how I hold it and point out the products that I'm using with you guys. So just so you know, that is why I'm holding this kind of awkwardly. Alright, so let's get started with the cream bronzer. And I just want to be careful with this and not pick up too much at once because this is quite dark. and I do not know how it's going to look on me. Alright, so I'm just going to apply and just start blending immediately. Alright, so I think instead I'm going to pick it up with my finger. Let's try like that on this side and just apply and start blending. That's too much. Okay, I'm scared. I'm gonna grab my foundation brush and start blending this. I picked up too much there. Okay, that actually looks really good like that. Alright, screw this little brush. I know why I was a little afraid there, but you know, it's just makeup. All is good. I will say to just work this in sections, only because when I did first swatch this, I felt like once it dried, like there was no budging with this. So I would definitely recommend to just do one side at a time. And whatever I have left here on my finger, I'll start adding. By the way, this brush that I'm using is the Marc Jacobs The Face 2 brush. Okay, so that's actually not bad. I think this is as far as I'm going to take it with the cream product. Again, just because of how dark it is. But it looks like I'm actually able to get away with it. I just do have to be careful to not over apply. If you're lighter than me, you might just want to go with the lighter palettes. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, let's use the other products in here. But from what I can tell, I mean, these are quite pigmented. So you'll just have to be extra careful if you do have a lighter skin tone than I do. But it seems like, at least for now, with the cream bronzer, if you are of a deeper skin tone, this will definitely work out for you. All right, so I'm looking around because I'm trying to decide what brush to use today for my bronzer. All right, let's go with this one. I hardly use these, like these fan brushes. So this one's from Sonia G. It is the Sculpt 1 brush. And so I'm gonna pick up this bronzer shade. This is like the Baked Gelée formula, so we'll see how well I'm able to pick this up with the brush. All right, so I have about that much. We'll start off with this. If we need more, we can pick up some more. This is very pigmented. So I kind of feel like this has a bit of a red undertone, which I don't always welcome on my bronzers, but I don't know, there's something about this that I think I'm quite enjoying so far. So I'll pick up a little bit more again, about the same amount for the other side of my face. A little contour action, although this is a bronzer. Okay, so honestly, I'm quite impressed with how well these bronzers are actually working out for me. I was quite concerned that they were going to be too dark. I was not going to be able to actually use them as a bronzer, but it looks like I can. Again, I just have to be very careful with how much I'm picking up. All right, so from here, I like to do highlight after bronzing using my Sonia G mini cheek brush. I'm gonna go into this highlighter first. I need to be careful. Okay, that is a beautiful highlighter. It is like that perfect in between for me, where it's not super subtle, but it's also not too stark of a highlight. I'm gonna see if I can build this up just a little. Okay, and then it becomes more intense. but like my kind of intense. So this highlighter I think is really beautiful. This color actually suits me quite well. And this is the one that's a little bit more kind of golden. I like that. All right, so let me wipe off this brush. And I'm going to go in with this shade down here, which I think is more of a, I don't know, like a rose gold. Actually, I feel like this one that I applied is maybe more of a champagne shade, and this one that I'm going to apply leans a little bit more rose gold. That is my description. So this one, upon first application, feels kind of like the other one, where it's not necessarily too subtle, but it is more than, you know, your typical highlight these days. So I'll apply another layer. Yeah, that looks really pretty. On the face, I'm not sure if I can capture too much of a difference. It's very, very subtle. On the skin, this actually looks a little bit more golden on me, whereas the one on the left side, the top one, does look more of a champagne. Let me just do a swatch with my finger so I can show you guys side by side. Yeah, so this is the one I have on my left side, and this is the one I have on my right. Very, very beautiful highlighters. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and just move on to the blush side. I'm going to use this top one, which has more of a coral tone on the left side of my face, and then this bottom one on the right side of my face. I'm using my Sonia G Cheek Pro brush. Start back here. Beautiful. I really, really like that. All right, I wiped off my brush, and now to the pinker side. So these apply really, really nicely. You get pigment right off the bat. I will say I prefer my left side over my right side. Just in preference, I feel like for my skin tone, I think for sure the top row is much better for me than the bottom row, but I can get away with both of them. I'll probably, I mean, just end up doing what I normally do with palettes like this and mix these shades together, you know, to kind of get the best out of both worlds, I guess. But that is normally what I do, again, with these type of palettes, so that I can make use out of the whole thing. But I really, really like all of this. All right, so actually, let's just go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go back with my highlighter brush and just pass it through both of the highlighters, you know, to even things out. I don't really feel like you can tell too much of a difference anyway. Now, because these are kind of like that baked jelly formula, in my opinion, this type of formula is a little bit more forgiving when you do have texture. Like I have texture here. It is going to emphasize that if we want a glowy cheek and if we have texture, the products that are going to get us those glowy cheeks are more than likely going to emphasize the texture that we do have. I, for one, at least like with the type of texture that I have going on right now, I don't mind this. I mean, it just is what it is. I'm not going to stop wearing makeup because of it. Even the blushes, because it is a blush that has like a sheeniness to it. It definitely gives off some type of radiance to your cheeks. So again, it's going to emphasize that texture. So for me personally, it just depends on how bad it is. For the most part though, I just go ahead and wear whatever I usually want to wear. So I just picked up a little bit just of that pinker shade to add on this side. Then a little bit of the corally shade for my right side. Hopefully things look more even. Like I said, I don't think it was like ridiculously noticeable. Then whatever's left on the bridge of my nose. Alright, so here is my face with all of the products in this palette. I am actually very, very happy with how these products performed, and they actually made up with how crappy the actual packaging is and all the issues I had with these shadows. So let me scoot you guys out real quick so that I can give you my final thoughts. Alright, so like I was already mentioning, I think this face palette is gorgeous. It actually ended up exceeding my expectations. Immediately, this specific palette attracted me a lot more than the lighter one. But once I applied everything on my face, I mean, I have zero complaints. The cream bronzer, which is what I was most afraid of, blended out beautifully. The powder bronzer, I just know I have to apply with a lighter hand, but I actually ended up liking the color of it as well. I do feel like it leaned a little bit on the red side for me, but it wasn't that bad, or I don't know, maybe it's just, I don't know what it is. I just kind of had that, you know, vibe when I was applying it. But now that I'm done with all of my makeup, I think it looks really great. The blushes are a really nice color, beautiful finish, and the highlighters are, you know, that perfect type of highlight that I enjoy and that I feel that can be worn pretty much anywhere at any time. So I am very, very happy with this. So I'm just gonna look past, you know, the fact that I've had a little bit of issues with it kind of trying to fall apart on me, but I'm just going to, you know, fix it myself. I can fix it, still salvageable, so all is good. So yeah, if you guys are on the fence on this, I actually do recommend it. I think is beautiful. As of right now, I've only seen it available at the Burberry website here in the US, so make sure to check it out. I'm sure the lighter one would perform really well as well. If those colors speak to you, I am sure you will love it as well. Alright guys, so that is it as far as today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And while you're there, if you have not yet, do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.